The world of international football has been rocked by a decision that defies logic, ignores form, and suggests a brewing storm behind the closed doors of the England camp. Thomas Tuchel, the man tasked with bringing football home, has just drawn a battle line that could define his entire tenure. The target? One of the most gifted technical footballers of a generation, Trent Alexander-Arnold. As the Three Lions prepare for their march toward the World Cup, the squad list sent shockwaves through the sporting world. A 35-man roster, vast, expansive, and deep, yet missing the name of the Real Madrid superstar who has been tearing up the pitch in Spain. This isn't just a tactical tweak or a minor rotational rest. This is a cold-blooded exclusion that has prompted England legend Gary Lineker to break his silence and point the finger directly at the German tactician. The question hanging over St. George's Park is no longer about formations or fitness. The question is this personal? For years, the debate surrounding Trent Alexander-Arnold has been the most polarised conversation in English football. To his admirers, he is a visionary, a quarterback in boots, a player who sees passing lanes that don't even exist yet. To his detractors, he is a defensive liability, a luxury player who lacks the grit for the international stage. But Thomas Tuchel was supposed to be the man to solve the enigma. Instead, he has seemingly chosen to bury it. Gary Lineker, speaking on a podcast, didn't hold back. His voice, usually measured and analytical, carried a tone of genuine disbelief. The former striker, who knows exactly what it takes to perform under the crushing pressure of the national shirt, sees something far more sinister than a simple tactical preference. "You obviously know I'm a big admirer of Trent," Lineker said. "I think there's something personal because football-wise, there's no argument. I can't see how he cannot be in that squad because he has to improve your chances, even if it's from the bench." Let that sink in. Lineker isn't just suggesting a mistake, he's suggesting a rift. A 35-man squad. That is nearly 4 full starting 11s. To suggest that Alexander-Arnold, a man who has won every major trophy at club level and now wears the iconic white of Real Madrid, doesn't rank among the top 35 players in England is, by any objective metric, absurd. So I suspect there's something that Tuchel does not like about Trent Alexander-Arnold, Lineker continued. I'd just be guessing in terms of what it might be, whether it's his attitude or he thinks he's not brilliant defensively. There has to be something in that because it makes absolutely no sense. You've got players playing in his position, with all due respect, that are not in the same league as him, certainly with the ball at his feet. The defensive argument has been the shield used by every manager who has ever doubted Trent. But under Tuchel, a manager who prides himself on sophisticated tactical structures and fluid transitions, the exclusion of a world-class ball progressor feels like a contradiction. If Tuchel's England is meant to be a modern, dominant force, why leave the most modern fullback in the world at home? If you want to find out whether Tuchel will finally swallow his pride and recall Trent, or if England's World Cup dream will be sacrificed at the altar of a personal ego, hit subscribe and turn on notifications right now. But the plot thickens. The exclusion of Trent is only one half of this explosive story. To truly understand the insult Lineker is referring to, one has to look at who did make the cut. Enter Ben White. The Arsenal defender's relationship with the national team has been shrouded in mystery and tension since he left the 2022 World Cup camp in Qatar for personal reasons. Reports of friction with previous coaching staff and a subsequent refusal to be considered for. Selection made White a pariah in the eyes of many England fans. Yet, with Jarell Quansah sidelined by injury, Tuchel didn't look toward Madrid. He didn't pick up the phone to call the man who has been crossing balls for Kylian Mbappé and Jude Bellingham. Instead, he opened the door for Ben White's return. The optics are devastating. For a player like Alexander-Arnold, who has remained professional, stayed quiet, and focused on his football at the highest possible level, seeing a player who previously turned his back on the badge being fast-tracked back into the fold is a bitter pill to swallow. Lineker's frustration reached a boiling point when discussing this specific hierarchy. As you saw in these kind of games, you need someone with a bit of magic to unlock things, and he will provide you that, Lineker added. So it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know whether it's his attitude or what it is. I don't know, but I find it quite insulting looking at the players he's brought in. The word insulting is not used lightly in the world of elite sports. It implies a lack of respect, a dismissal of status, and a disregard for merit. We talk about the Ben White situation, for example, and he's not wanted to play for England before, Lineker noted. Now, I wouldn't judge him on that because we don't really know what's happened in the camp before and his reasons for not playing. That's all fine, but I can't see how he can still be ahead of Trent. I think that's really insulting to a seriously top fullback. That's my view. This isn't just about a friendly against Japan or a training camp in the Midlands. This is about the soul of the England team heading into a World Cup. The Three Lions find themselves in Group L, alongside Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. On paper, it's a group they should navigate. But tournaments are won by the thinnest of margins, a set-piece delivery, a crossfield diagonal, a moment of magic to unlock a low block. These are the very things Alexander-Arnold provides in his sleep. By freezing him out now, Tuchel isn't just sending a message for today, he is potentially sabotaging tomorrow. If a player of Trent's caliber is left out of a 35-man squad, his chances of making the final flight to the World Cup are not just slim, they are microscopic. Is there a hidden attitude problem that the public hasn't seen? Is there a clash of egos between a high-profile German manager who demands total control and a superstar player who has found a new level of independence in the Spanish capital? Or is Tuchel simply trying to prove that no player is bigger than his system, even if that system is poorer for the player's absence? The silence from the England camp is deafening. Tuchel has sparked a debate that has polarized the nation, but the numbers don't lie. When you look at the creative metrics, the progressive passes, and the sheer gravity Alexander-Arnold pulls on a football pitch, there is no tactical justification for his total omission. As Lineker says, it makes no sense. The drama of this selection goes beyond the pitch. It speaks to the culture Tuchel is building. Is it a culture of meritocracy or a culture of compliance? By rewarding a player who walked away and punishing a player who has simply been himself, Tuchel is playing a dangerous game with the chemistry of the squad. The friendly against Japan was supposed to be a celebration of a new era. Instead, it ended in a disappointing 1-0 defeat for England, leaving the team haunted by the ghost of the man in Madrid. Now that the final whistle has blown, the frustration is palpable. Every overhit cross, every poorly delivered corner, and every minute of sterile possession only amplified the same aching question. What would Trent have done? The pressure on Thomas Tuchel has reached a fever pitch before a ball has even been kicked in the tournament. He has made his choice. He has discarded a weapon of mass destruction in favour of a defensive safety net. He has ignored the pleas of legends like Gary Lineker and the logic of world-class form. Is this the masterstroke of a tactical genius who sees a flaw the rest of us are blind to? Or is this the first major blunder of a manager letting a personal bias compromise a nation's dream? The road to the World Cup is paved with difficult decisions, but some decisions are so controversial they threaten to derail the entire journey. As England prepares to face the world, they do so without their most creative spark, leaving fans, pundits, and Gary Lineker wondering if the personal issue between manager and player has just cost England their best shot at glory. The countdown to the World Cup has begun, and for Trent Alexander-Arnold, the clock may have already run out. But for Thomas Tuchel, the scrutiny has only just started. If England fails to unlock the defences of Croatia or Ghana, if the magic is missing when it matters most, the omission of the Real Madrid star will be remembered as the moment the Tuchel era began to crumble. This is more than football. This is a high-stakes drama where the script is being written in real time. And right now, the protagonist is sitting in Madrid, while the director is under fire in London. The World Cup awaits, but the shadow of Trent Alexander-Arnold looms larger than ever.